As we know, GameSpot News likes to keep up on the stock tips and the SEC filings and everything. And in a Take-Two filing with the SEC, it was revealed that 3D Realms has a $500,000 incentive to finish Duke Nukem Forever by the end of this year.
Yeah.
Sure.
Right.
So it's going to happen, right?
Not according to George Broussard.
$500,000. Why wouldn't you finish it, right?
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah.
That's money. That's bank.
That's totally bank.
Right.
What did George Broussard say, Brad?
He said, nah.
Okay.
He said, when it's done.
Yeah, basically.
He said
the 3D Realms company line at this point, when it's done. Yeah.
It's been in development since 1997.
At this
and
point.
Apparently they just got the guns working.
What's another year or two when it's been almost a decade in there?
Yeah.
Why would... Okay.
Well, here it comes.
Imagine how much time at 3D Realms has been wasted keeping this game current with the times. If they are still actually working on it and still planning on releasing it, this game was like the Quake 2 engine at some point.
Yep.
Like, what are they doing? What could they possibly be doing that this game is not done yet?
I've said it 1,000 times. The game is a lie. It never existed. It is a way to get money out of Activision to keep George Broussard's internet porn collection going. Seriously. Okay, they probably generated assets 3 or 4 times and had to dump them all or go back to them all because they just weren't good enough anymore. Think about how far games have come since 1997.
We do have screenshots and a trailer up on the site, which I think might have been from E3
from like 99 or 2000. Yeah,
98 or 99.
Well, at that point, I think it was using like the Unreal 1 or Unreal Tournament, I think, is the engine.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, and so I heard, I was on a bus with some people that work in the video game business at some pre-E3 event like 3 years ago, and I heard one guy turn to the other and go, I got to go see Duke Nukem Forever. It's looking all right. And that was 3 years ago, and it's still not out! So even if what he saw then looked good, how could it possibly look good now? They have to be doing like the most amazing, not a generic first-person shooter gameplay with that, or they need to be riding the bleeding edge of technology, but I just can't imagine they're doing either at this point, and it's just ridiculous.
The game will come out, it will be $20.
And, of course, anytime anyone says anything about Duke Nukem Forever other than like, I can't wait for it to come out, dude, or I don't care, there's always George Broussard going like, oh, you'll see.
Well, you know what?
Yeah, maybe I will. Maybe we will all see.
I think we're starting to see some cracks in the facade in the last few months.
Yeah.
If you've kept up with any of the comments, he's been, because he's always speaking out on message boards and stuff.
Because he has that much time, apparently.
Apparently,
sure, yeah.
And lately he hasn't been defending the game quite as hard.
Yeah.
There have been a couple of quotes, like some magazine got to go see the game a few months ago, and they've got him quoted in there being just like, at this point, we just want to get the game done.
Well, then what are you doing? Oh.
Don't yell at me.
What's 3D Realms doing? Are they publishing Prey? Are they developing Prey?
They're involved. Yeah,
that game looks cool.
Like that game got killed and revitalized, and it's coming out before Duke Nukem,
and that looks awesome.
I mean, they did.
I wouldn't go that far, but
that game looks awesome to me. Art Bell coming through.
Yeah.
Art Bell is totally in that
cool
game.
Idea. Yeah. But like 3D Realms, I think they made a huge chunk of money. I mean, obviously they made a ton of money off Duke Nukem, but then they made like a really good, sizable chunk of cash off of Max Payne.
Yeah, they helped somehow with the development of that game.
So, then they found Remedy and Finder's Fee, whatever. So, they've got no problem with money. They've been self-funding it. So, like George Broussard says, they're not going to rush it now. And really, why bother?
All right, well, let's move on. We'll learn more about Duke Nukem Forever as its release date of December 31st approaches. It's coming out this year.
Stop saying that.
Is that what we just came up to? Is that the game's coming out this year?
Yeah, totally.
It totally
yes.
is.
It will come out on December 31st.
Actually, it's a Wii launch game, October 18th.
Cool.
Vishnu asks, I heard the new Duke Nukem Forever was coming. I just wanted to know if you guys think it would be for the 360. No, because it's never coming out. It might be for the PlayStation 4.
I was asking if there are any more homework questions from that one dude.
No.
Email. That was it. So yeah, Duke Nukem for the 360 by the end of the year?
Totally soon.
Yeah.
You want $500,000
Jeff,
or not?
Do you want the Prince of all cosmos?
No, the Prince can't help me.
But anyways, next call.
Hi, this is George Broussard of 3D Realms. Yeah, this call is directed toward the one Jeff Gersman. See, I heard your little diatribe on the status of our O2 existent Duke Nukem Forever, and I just want you to know that if that little rant had been in the form of a thread on my forum, it would have been locked Also, all your jabbering about Psychonauts backward compatibility was really boring me, so I just threw the whole game into an in-game arcade machine for DNF, which will come out for the 360, so you've got your damned backward compatibility in one form or another. Carrie can also be assured that while all the women in the game will be strippers, they will not be gamers. Thanks, guys. Bye. Stupid!
Consider yourself moderated.
That was pretty good. Take that, Jeff.
Dang. Was that the real George Broussard?
You're the one that's talked to him. You tell me.
No, I've never.
Who was the crazy guy who called you up from the convertible once?
Oh, no, that was Victor Ireland.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
Totally different person.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Last call. Duke Nukem Forever. It is here. It's out. We've seen it. It's awesome.
Yeah.
See what happened? There's this website, Gama Sutra. They have job seeker boards where like developers post things where they're like, oh, we're totally hiring. Come work for us. And then what do you find on there? 3D Realms has some job listings. Fat shot of Duke right there.
Yeah, huge shot.
And it's real big. It's about the size of a postage stamp.
Yeah.
And it's him. And yes, it's a real-time shot of Duke.
It's a picture of Duke Nukem, and he's got a gun.
And he's standing in a random hallway.
So that means there's a game, right?
You know,
yes.
Yeah.
this thing's gotten so analyzed. It's like the Zapruder film. People are looking at it and go, that's a photo of an action figure. He looks like plastic, and you can see the hand holding him over here and all this stuff. I mean, my reaction to this shot was, if it's real, it looks plastic. I'm not sure how I feel about this.
So like the picture showing up alone sparked a bunch of people going bananas. So then George Broussard kind of posted. He's the president of 3D Realms, the developer.
I think I've heard his name mentioned on the program before.
Yeah, once or twice.
He came out and said and just posted in-game shot.
Yeah,
totally.
In-game shot.
Yeah.
You knew that would set up a firestorm because anytime you're making a game for let's be honest, 10 years, it's become a joke.
The joke's going to be on us because it's going to turn out it's from the intro cutscene where Duke Nukem is sitting at his desk because he's a retired cop, and there is a Duke Nukem action figure on his desk, and this is a shot of that action figure.
Yeah.
And he's playing with it. He's making it shoot. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yes, that was me, and it's an in-game real-time shot of Duke standing in a random hallway. I just stuck it on a Gama Sutra ad to make it stand out from the sea of company logos and maybe act as a small teaser.
A very small teaser.
We tend to just do unconventional things in terms of PR.
And this is my favorite quote right
here. But we're starting to wake up from our slumber and think about when and how best to show the game.
It's very apt.
Because this is it. Right
Waking
there.
from a slumber.
If that's an in-game shot, then I mean, is this like an iPod game now? That's about the size of the thumbnail.
Maybe it's an N-Gage game. You got to turn it sideways. That is the N-Gage.
Considering when they started developing the game, I think the N-Gage is probably powerful enough to run it.
If I was going to run a viral marketing campaign, I wouldn't put it on a job seeker. I'd maybe create a profile on a forum and then slowly every Friday leak out new and bizarre information about something that people think they know what it is but really have no idea what it is.
That would never work, dude. You're crazy.
It could.
All right.
If someone tried such a thing, maybe. But this picture, it's awesome.
Always bet on Duke. That's all I'm saying.
Word, son.
Yes.
Dude, that's not all I'm saying.
What else are you saying?
Dude, whatever. Whatever. How and when to best show the game? Come on.
They have one of those old calendar Chinese calendars, and they're doing the math right now to figure out that sometime in 2013
is the year of the monkey
is the most spiritually congruous time to get the most promotion out of showing it. So in 5 years,
technology is just about to jump again with DirectX 10 and all these new cards and all this new PC technology. Are you telling me that this game that they started working on 10 years ago, that they have stripped out the graphics code over and over again to keep it current, and that in a DirectX 10 enabled world, this game is somehow going to manage to be relevant?
They plan for that, man. It's modular.
Dude, they're ahead of the curve, man.
Yeah.
They're already developing for DX11.
Guys, I just remember when they said they were delaying it because they're building it on the Quake 2 Half-Life engine. They go, we're going with Unreal. And this was Unreal 1 we're talking about.
Yeah.
I mean,
and they're up to Unreal, what,
Unreal
19 now?
Whatever, yeah. I mean, it's...
maybe if they're still using Unreal Engine, that stuff has remained at least somewhat similar.
Scale it up! Just scale it.
What are they hiring for? Did they say what?
3 animators, I think is what I saw.
Well,
a PR person.
They're hiring for people to redraw every single piece of art in the game in higher resolution because PC games are better now.
They're hiring someone to actually make the game because they have not actually been making a game for the last 8 years.
I totally spilled curry on this story.
Cool.
Yeah.
Maybe that says something.
Maybe. But Duke Nukem forever.
I know it pains you to talk about it, Jeff. Sorry to bring it up to you.
So stupid that this has happened that way. There's got to be some interesting internal story that we'll probably never hear. Or maybe at some point when they realized how wrong this whole thing was going, they're like, dude, we got to get some video cameras.
They have to do something to justify the fact they missed their bonus payment by not releasing the game in 2006.
Yeah.
Remember that story?
Oh, I remember that.
$500,000 they would get for
Which
getting it
George
done.
Broussard angrily rebuffed, saying, whatever.
Yeah.
Well, it's like at this point, is $500,000 going to help them? They
I don't
obviously
know.
have enough money to keep funding this thing forever.
How did the other games sell so
You know,
well?
they sold the rights to Max Payne.
Yeah.
You know, they sold that franchise away.
I'll say it again. Internet porn. That's totally how they're making their money.
You're saying that they have a secret porn lab?
I'm saying they have a secret laboratory where they concoct porn.
As long as the people making the game are having fun and listen to stuff like this and just laugh a little bit because the game's going to be good, then good for them. But at the same time, this does reek of potential for disaster on a Daikatana scale.
At this point, it reeks for whatever.
It's just
it's
10
almost
years,
impossible
and
to care.
there's just so the expectations on this game are so everyone has these crazy expectations for this game because it's been 10 years.
I think at this point, like, no one has expectations for it. Now it's just become like that car crash of like, oh man, I want to see what's this is finally gonna look like.
When it does ship, everyone's gonna be going. So this is 10 years worth of whatever.
Was the game big enough where there's still a large market out there of people who remember Duke Nukem? Like a lot of people have played it, they're family folks now. They don't play first-person shooters, and the new generation of people who play games like this, they've probably never played Duke Nukem.
Duke Nukem, it was kind of cheesy. Like it was kind of dumb back in the day. Like it was an awesome game, but
that's a good
like
point.
All the Bruce Campbell rip-off one-liners and all that stuff wouldn't play today.
Yeah, especially the guys who played Duke Nukem 10 years ago, 13 years ago. And they have kids now. They're not going to be playing a game with strippers in it.
The people that played Duke Nukem back then went on to make Gears of War, or went on to make all these other games that have totally surpassed anything that Duke Nukem.
And it was an influential game for its time, but
definitely it had pipe bombs.
Why are we still talking about it?
Because it's fascinating.
The multiplayer was totally radical.
Yeah,
I'm amazed that no one has tried to like create some sort of just insane documentary about 3D Realms and just the fact that they have been able to keep this up for so long.
Maybe that's what they're waiting for. They're waiting for the documentary to get Final Cut before they release the game, so they can release the movie and the game at the same time.
How fascinating would that be to watch, though? Just to find out what the machinations of this company and what they've been doing for the last 10 years is. Yeah.
All right, go.
Yeah.
No, I'd imagine that this story is interesting, like in very short bursts.
Yeah.
Like they sit down, take a long, hard look at what they've got, and then just go, dude, no, we gotta redo all this.
Well, so you cut it to about an hour-long documentary, and that's it. 10 years condensed into that. There you go.
Hey, Hotspot crew, WID here. Where were you when production for Duke Nukem Forever began? Thinking back about 10 years now. Personally, I was starting high school. I'd be interested to see where you guys were circa 1996. All right, talk to you later. Peace.
Thanks for the call, WID. Gentlemen, 10 years ago, Duke Nukem Forever started production.
Yeah.
It's kind of become our new gizmondo to talk about this game. And I don't mind, because you need that.
Sure.
You need that hook, and people are going to keep coming back for it. But where were you guys 10 years ago? Greg Mueller, start us off. Where were you?
I was a junior in high school 10 years ago, probably playing a lot of GoldenEye with my buddies on the N64.
Nice. Tim Surratt?
I believe I was a junior in college. I'm one of the older guys here.
Dude, you're old! Man!
I'm seasoned.
But little did you know that the most epic game of all time was being created while you're a junior.
I did not care at that point.
Jeff?
I was here.
Okay, then.
Yeah, I was a few years out of high school, and I was working here.
February 1997 was what we're talking about?
February 97, I was definitely here. I was here in October of 96.
Nice. So you just barely started, though.
Yeah.
Young, bright-eyed, still had all these hopes and dreams.
Now, this was not too long after the launch of Video GameSpot, so I was actually tired and pretty crushed.
Oh, were you? Okay,
yeah,
I'm sorry.
A lot of late nights.
February 1997, I was rapidly approaching my high school graduation as a senior.
How did it go?
It went well. Yeah.
And little did you know.
Little did
in
I know.
a bunker somewhere,
Duke Nukem Forever
was being created.
Yeah.
Always bet on Duke.
Always bet on Duke.
They gave out poker chips. The year that they went to E3, they gave out poker chips that said always bet on Duke. That's why I keep
For Duke
saying
Nukem
that.
Forever?
Yeah.
Do you have those? You better.
I do not.
You better find
I
those.
did not get any. I know Dave Toyster has one.
Well, we're going to break into Dave Toyster's house.
Okay.
You guys in?
Yes.
Yes?
Sure.
All right, cool.
And now on to our real emails. Thanks for everyone who
Thanks,
wrote in
everyone.
with their...
This is Jimmy.
Yes. This is Jimmy. James writes in to say, I am writing you at the hotspot to remind you forgot a very special day last week. Last week, April 27th to be exact, was Duke Nukem Forever's 10th year in the making anniversary. I'm appalled that you would forget the anniversary of such a close friend. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. I suggest you all chip in for an ice cream cake and a card to make amends to the Duke for forgetting his special day. So yeah, recently it was the 10 years of the original announcement for Duke Nukem Forever. And that game's coming out soon.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
I'm very excited about everything that just
happy,
was said.
not birthday.
That game's development is literally transcendent. Way to go.
Requires DOS 5.
Yeah, I was just calling. I just saw the thing online about Jeff Gerstmann's quote-unquote departure from GameSpot, and I've been reading a little bit about the speculation.
I was just reading your news story about Jeff Gerstmann leaving GameSpot, and, well, I just want to say that he's had a good run on GameSpot, 11 years. That's really awesome, and I hope he's moving on to better things.
Hey, just in case you guys were keeping score, Jeff Gerstmann got released before Duke Nukem Forever.
But Duke Nukem Forever is totally coming out.
You want to talk about Duke Nukem Forever?
I guess
we've seen it.
I guess we have to.
Balls of Steel.
Jace, everyone's buddy, Jace.
Hall.
Jace H.
Yeah.
Runner of HD Films, former LiveTech guy?
Yeah.
Former
Monolith guy, yeah.
And then Warner Interactive.
Former target of Old Man Murray, I guess.
Yeah, he's got his little internet web show, and he went and knocked down the door at 3D Realms and went and made them show him Duke Nukem Forever. And showed on video, and looks like Duke Nukem.
It sure is a first-person shooter.
Yeah. I don't know.
Wisecracking first-person shooter.
Was that? See, I didn't hear any of that. Is that in there?
There's a little bit of voice.
Obviously,
but
it will be in there, but I didn't hear any in the video.
Oh, I don't know.
His voice is in the video a couple of times, but I think they might have dubbed some of that on. Like, I don't think it was necessarily.
I mean, at least they have a stomping animation.
Right.
Like, I don't know if you have the actual shrink ray.
Right.
But you can step on things, so that's cool.
And they have an ego meter that as you kill stuff or as something happens, like next to the reticle, it would say, like, ego +9. I don't really know what that'll do.
Yeah, I don't know
maybe when you fill it up, then you hit the button and he makes a wisecrack. Like, maybe that's a mechanic now. I don't know.
The enemies quail in fear.
I don't know. Like, it looks all right.
Yeah. Graphically, I mean, it looked.
But that said, it's like with the length of time it's been in development, there's no way it could live up to the weird expectations that people have for that game now.
Well, I feel like expectations have since degraded.
Yeah, I guess. Actually, if it's any good at all, I think I'll be pleasantly surprised.
I don't know. I don't know what to think of it. I don't even know if I care. I don't know. Yeah. I just don't know.
I mean, I'm excited to play it. I mean, I'm sure you have fond memories of Duke 3D, right?
Yeah. Like, mostly multiplayer.
Yeah.
And but mostly like multiplayer specifically in the first level.
Yeah.
Like in the movie theater level. Like that's it.
Totally. I don't know. It's worrisome because all the stuff you remember that was great about that game is very 1996. Like, the world has moved on.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they have anything new to bring to the table this time.
Right. Like that wisecracking type of character.
Yeah.
That shake it baby type stuff just straight up doesn't play.
And some of the unique weapons and like the environment interactivity. Like, it's been done. It's all been done.
I just want is Level Lord working on this game?
That's the linchpin.
Like,
that's the linchpin.
Or is he off at whatever like Ritual turned into when Mumbo Jumbo bought him?
Making casual games,
weird hard casual products. Hard casual.
3D Realms is closed.
Oh no!
What?
3D Realms is closed and development has stopped on Duke Nukem Forever.
What?
It seems like
we've gotten
so far we've gotten information from several different sources, some anonymous sources close to 3D Realms. Take-Two has commented on it, which was a publishing partner with 3D Realms on Duke Nukem Forever. But have we gotten any official word from 3D Realms saying it's over?
Yeah, I think you've seen the assets pouring out. That's the official.
No, like not necessarily. Okay, so they updated their website, I guess, over the weekend and posted a staff photo taken in the lobby that just kind of says like goodbye and thanks
and a PayPal link.
No.
Is there a CG Duke standing in the background?
I don't think so.
Better if there was.
So like
cool
that's pretty official, but there's no like, hey, this is what's happening to the game, or hey, yeah, it's never coming out, or there's no like, where is George Broussard? Basically, like, where is he to say like, hey, here's what happened, here's why this is going on, and here's what the future holds for.
He's camping out
the work
at
that these guys,
because he's at the strip club.
No, he's knocking on doors, being like, "I've got this game."
Well, that's been part of the big rumor is that they did that prior to this closure, like,
and nobody picked it up.
Like all the scuttlebutt on the message boards is like they went to Valve, they went to id, Epic, like they're
nobody knocked on our door.
Somebody,
just saying.
Yeah. We could have been the publisher,
and it sounded like from Take Two that basically 3D Realms had come and said, "Hey, we need more money for the nth time,"
right?
And Take Two this time said, "No, not so much."
Well, it wasn't.
No, we're not gonna.
It wasn't necessarily a case of this time because they publicly cut off their funding for that game like several years ago. I think.
Yeah, it was a while ago that they had to kind of. I think it was like the stockholders were like, "Why are you throwing money down a toilet?" And they had to come out and say, "No, we are not funding this game."
It's like we will still publish it when it's done, but we're not actively funding development anymore.
Yeah,
but I'm sure the way it'll get spun is that they are the ones that killed it. Like, Take Two. Yeah, they said they're not going to give any more money, so what are we going to do?
After being in development for this long, I don't think anyone can reasonably place blame for the failure there anywhere other than 3D Realms.
No way.
Yep.
Even more so. How do you cancel the best game ever, man?
Because you've been developing it for 13 years.
Best game ever.
Think about what has happened in the time between them announcing Duke Nukem Forever and right now.
Chairs were broken. People were...
Half-Life happened.
Yeah.
Halo happened.
Came and went.
Yeah,
the Xbox, the brand of the Xbox happened.
Yes,
since then.
twice.
There was a Dreamcast.
I was in high school when that game was announced.
Consoles have died and been buried in the... Remember the GameCube?
The what?
Nope.
Nintendo GameCube?
Nope.
Star Road.
Not ringing any bells.
The pre-Wii, yes.
The pre-Wii.
The pre-Wii.
I like that.
They should re-release it as the pre-Wii.
Remember Cabbage Patch Kids?
That happened.
That
came and went.
MC Hammer.
The whole entirety of the Star Trek, start to finish.
Remember Milli Vanilli?
Milli Vanilli came and had their whole career.
Hula hoops. Those were there.
Television went from black and white to color.
Cracker Jack started coming in bags instead of boxes.
Dinosaurs went extinct. All of these things happen.
Yogi Berra retired.
That was sad. That was a sad one. The Cuban Missile Crisis.
Yep.
That was a rough time. Where were you?
Waiting for Duke Nukem Forever to come out, man.
That was when they changed engines.
So
that's why Kurt Cobain killed himself.
It's right there in the timeline.
So even though 3D Realms hasn't said anything official, it does seem like that they're done there because a lot of the people that worked there have started posting up assets from the game that they worked on their online resumes
There's
and
a veritable
portfolios.
deluge of leaked assets out there.
And you
knew
what?
Something was going to come
We've
out.
got a bunch of screenshots. We've got
My
video.
God, man! Design documents, character renders,
No, I don't think all of that stuff is out of someone's resume. Is it like the design doc? Was that someone's?
No, definitely not.
Like that just was some weird leaked thing, but like it's definitely like some animation.
But the leaks have gone bananas.
Like, do you think some of those guys are just that bitter that they just took it all with them and
I don't know,
went nuts?
I don't know.
Man,
I don't. I like who knows what even that they're being told by 3D Realms management at this point. Like it could very easily be like we have to shut down because we can't afford to pay anybody. But hey, look, guys. I mean, we're gonna keep out beating down doors out there and try and sell this game to someone, or try and get someone else to fund it, or give them a piece of it, and hopefully we can hire you all back, or it's who knows what they're trying to pull.
But wasn't the word
if they're trying to pull anything?
Wasn't the word that Take Two said we'll buy the rights from you to get you capital for this, and they said no?
It was again scuttlebutt. Like none of that is confirmed. But that was some of the rumor kicking around was that they wanted to buy the IP from 3D Realms, and they would not do that.
Which I guess I can understand Well, I don't know.
But then
I guess I can understand why they would say, I would rather shut this company down than sell Duke Nukem, because at that point the company might as well not exist.
Yeah, like the dream is definitely dead.
Yeah, it's point. Like either you own your IP. If you're a developer like that is going to try to play the when it's done game, and you don't own your IP, you're useless.
Yeah,
because if you go more than 18 months working on a game, they go like, all right, dude, later.
Giving this to someone else.
Yeah.
Well, maybe they told everybody to, open the floodgates and create buzz around Duke Nukem 3D.
Like, that's the crazy new rumor now, is that people are like, oh, Microsoft is buying 3D Realms and it's going to be the E3 announcement. Like, they're publishing it exclusively.
Because everybody wants Duke. Like, I'll say, like, I mean, I'm not saying it because the game might not come out, but some of that stuff released looks pretty good.
It does.
It looks like a fun first-person shooter.
And I had never actually, given true consideration to the idea that Duke Nukem Forever wouldn't come out. Like, I think I've always believed that it would come out.
Especially lately with footage getting out through somewhat official channels and stuff like that. Like them starting to kind of talk about it in more realistic terms of just
right.
As recently as like a month ago, George Broussard was twittering about milestone builds and we've got X number of bugs to fix this week, and it sounded kind of close to finished.
Yeah, or at least a game that was on a normal sounding development cycle.
Yeah,
they were saying things that you've heard other developers talk about.
Yeah,
finally,
as opposed to it's gonna be awesome. Duke Nukem is badass. Not at all a tired concept of tough talking movie one-liner guy.
Nope.
Not at all overly done, but I mean, other people do it, but they don't do it like Duke.
Balls of steel.
That was always the thing that really bothered me. That they thought that the Duke Nukem character was somehow bigger than the lines they stole out of They Live and
Army of
Bruce
Darkness.
Campbell movies, and treated it like.
This isn't camp.
It was just like a campy amalgam of all those things. It was not more than the sum of those parts.
But it's somewhere along the way, it seemed like everyone lost sight of that and man, no one does it like Duke, man.
Except Serious
Sam and Matt Hazard.
Yeah, remember when they had the live action Duke at the God Lot at E3, walking around with the strippers and stuff?
Yeah.
Man, those were the days.
It's some of that stuff was kind of okay, but at the same time, as more time passed and society got up and moved on from that style of comedy,
the 90s went.
Yeah, it was just
it's we're over.
You're looking at Duke Nukem going what?
Come to think of it, those movies like Army of Darkness came out right around when they announced.
It's definitely a product of its time. It is embedded in that culture.
That does put it in some perspective.
But the idea that I would I'd kind of come to terms with, okay, this game's going to come out and it will be okay. At some point it'll come out. I'll go, oh yeah, it's sloppy, this whatever first-person shooter experience.
I figured it'll come out and it'll be Daikatana style of it can't possibly live up to the expectations,
but it also can't be that terrible.
Oh yeah, when you compare it to Daikatana, you're making a pretty bold statement about its quality.
Well, you're right. But it was going to be that case where you were going to have a lot of people that just hated it, thought it was the worst thing ever made, and you're gonna have some people that had been living the dream, or holding the torch the whole time. They're like, finally, my dreams have been realized. I can't even wear pants anymore because I just soil them as soon as I put them on. But the truth would be somewhere in the middle.
And then 3 months later, it's
that
said, Duke Nukem 3D?
I've been kind of freaking out at the idea that Duke Nukem Forever might not come out.
Oh, because now we're all out of, everything's crumbling. The world.
It's no.
Yeah.
This was supposed to at least come out and just be okay, and then we could have that closure. But the idea of not getting to have the closure of playing Duke Nukem Forever, I don't like it. It makes me feel bad.
It has been around for my entire professional life, so ever since.
Yeah,
it's been a constant.
Yeah, and now that that's done, I'm done. See you guys.
Yeah, that's the only thing that was keeping you going.
I actually don't
hang around. It's back
enough.
to editing TV.
That's right. So that whole concept of it not being a joke anymore. That's sad. It's shut down Leno.
It becomes a much meaner joke now, I think.
Until it gets picked up again, and then we're at 2024 being like, hey, Duke Nukem Forever, shut down by Xeno Studios.
Now they're on their 6th iteration of the game.
I don't know what I want to happen. I don't know if I want it to get picked up.
You don't?
Really?
At this point. Because at that point,
it loses that.
It's like
craziness.
Okay, you mean you don't want to see it get picked up by another developer?
Now that it's done, I want it to be done.
Yeah,
put it to
I
rest.
agree with you.
I've reached this point with it where when it first happened, I was shocked and I was like, oh, it's a bummer that game's not going to come out and I'll probably never get to play it. But this notion of like that looking like the case and then it suddenly resurrecting itself again and just wrenching everyone through the, and because, you know, at that point it's like, oh, you know, the new publisher really believes in what we've got going on, but it's going to take another couple years to really, you know, polish it and get it looking right. We're you know, dumping all our technology and starting over. Like I can't go through that again.
So you want to have the Duke Nukem Forever that could have been, not the Duke Nukem Forever that is? Like, you don't want it to come out at some point and just be like...
I want to have the Duke Nukem Forever that is. Like, I want the version, however
you want George Broussard's vision.
No, I want where it is now. I want someone to compile it and put it on Steam and sell it.
Well, how likely...
compile every other version
how much would you
dumped
pay?
along the way.
That's what I really want to see. I want to see the compilation of Duke Nukem Forever.
I want to see the Duke Nukem Forever trilogy that is like the 3 different engines or, you know, whatever it is that they've gone through.
Say it went up on eBay. A developer has it. Like, how much would you be willing to? What would you cash out at? Like 1,000, 5,000?
No, not even. No.
No, you'd be done before that.
$50.
That's it.
Yeah,
for code
for unfinished games.
He wouldn't have to because somebody else would buy it and then it would go straight online.
Pirate it.
Yeah, I mean that. Yeah.
No. Yeah. If it was some weird case where someone was selling the source code and trying to compile it, then yeah, it would end up everywhere. But if I would like them to just put it together along with a nice book called How Not to Develop Games, and put that out in a package, like a big kind of ceremonial, big collector's edition or something, and like, you know, $80 Duke Nukem statue, and say, hey, we gave it a shot. We aren't perfect, obviously, but you know, here's how far we got.
I don't think
the commemorative package.
Yeah, I don't think George Broussard's ego could let it happen. But the idea of just like a, you know, the Heart of Darkness, Apocalypse Now documentary style of, you know, behind the scenes how all of this went so horribly wrong, and you know what the end results were. I would love to see something about that, and to be able to see kind of the iterations of the product that, you know, was kind of this journey. And that could be goddamn fascinating.
I think that, you know, like that's more interesting. We've reached a point where the story of that game's development is automatically more interesting than the game itself.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you call it 3D Realms Balls of Steel.
Yeah.
And put it out.
How likely do you think it is that there's one of those recently jettisoned employees walking around with like the Doomsday option like burned DVD in his pocket of like a playable build just ready to like hit a torrent site?
I don't know.
Like he's just waiting to snap, you know?
I would put money that those surface within a month if we don't hear anything legally from like 3D Realms getting picked up. Because I bet those dudes totally.
But the problem is that stuff would be so easy. I mean, 3D Realms is not a huge company. It'd be so easy for that stuff to trace back. So it's, you know, someone is putting their ass out there if anyone leaks something out. So
that's why you wait a while.
Yeah,
and it seems like all this stuff's like a situation where like Half-Life for the Dreamcast eventually got out.
Right.
Thrill Kill.
Or, yeah, like Thrill Kill.
All these kind of high profile canceled games find a way of
getting out there,
of appearing
totally illegally.
And all of the stuff that all of the assets and video and things that we've been seeing, it seems like most of it's been getting pulled down pretty quickly and not in an angry way.
But at some point, if 3D Realms is actually done, you have to liquidate that studio, and that means like they're probably going to want to sell back some of their machines, all that stuff that goes on there, and then that
again, we'll see.
That chaos, something's going to come out.
We don't know exactly what's going on with 3D Realms. They haven't said, so they're probably closed.
I mean, and you know, in my grand vision for this, George Broussard walks away with all of that and sits on it forever, and then tells stories for the rest of his life about how awesome the game was, and never has to back it up.
God damn it!
That's right. And then, like, what?
But I don't know.
What a heartbreaker it was that it never got made. Like, it would have been awesome.
Yeah, it was going to own, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Duke Nukem Forever was going to own.
We were so close too. We were so close.
It's really too bad you'll never get to play it because it was so good.
It was so good.
Balls of steel.
It didn't look that good for the videos. It looked okay.
Yeah, it looks decent.
It looked like a quality shooter with a lot of personality.
I will say it looked better than I expected.
Yeah, it looked like a game I would totally be okay playing.
You fight a giant monster on a football field at one point.
Right. Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah. And the football field looked pretty good.
Yeah.
And you have an ego meter.
Better than the first one.
What was that about?
What's up?
The ego meter.
There's an ego meter.
I saw that. I think that's just your health.
Hmm.
So it looked like the other one was just like your ammo meter. So
you go into ego rage. You go, he gets all egoed.
Yeah. And
who knows?
And then he gets into eagle rage.
It would have been awesome.
I really wish I could tell you about ego mode, guys. It was going to be awesome, but
it would have been awesome.
Unfortunately,
but he can because
we didn't get the chance to finish the game. So.
Couldn't tell you the story that we really wanted to tell. So apparently 3D Realms isn't actually closed?
Nope.
Man, you know what? Almost done talking about this one also.
For at least one employee, they're still open.
Yeah, someone was around to write this release. Who knows how many there are? But yeah, so let's see what's happened. Our Duke Nukem update. Take-Two is suing Duke Nukem.
Personally,
they looked up for impregnating his sister.
They looked up in the phone book until they found someone named Duke Nukem. Said, "We're going to sue the shit out of this guy."
They're suing 3D Realms, claiming that they paid all this money to
for a game
to publish a game, and now there's no game.
And they're saying you should give us the source code.
Yeah. They I don't think they want it to do anything with it. They just want it to
hold on to it,
to make sure it's secure and does not leak out and totally make their deal worthless. So 3D Realms issued a statement today saying that they're not closed and they're not closing, but that they have laid off everyone involved with the development of Duke Nukem Forever because of funding, due to lack of funding. And
however, they're still up for licensing out the Duke Nukem name.
Exactly, they're willing to help license and co-create the Duke games in the Duke Nukem franchise. So they're sticking around to do that. And they it's like there's some weird stuff you could imply, you could read into it by they're saying it's like we've had to lay off the Duke Nukem Forever staff due to lack of funding while the company goes through this transition, which you could then take to mean because as soon as they figure out a way to get money, everyone's coming back, or as many people as they can get are coming back, or you could take it to mean that by co-create and license that they could take Duke Nukem Forever and shop it to some other dev and have them finish it, or they could just keep making stuff like this Duke Nukem trilogy that's coming out on PSP and DS.
And they're developing that?
No.
Okay. So
No.
they're just going to help out.
They're co-creating it in that they said, this guy, he wears glasses and loves strippers. I think that's as much as they
shake
can.
'em, baby.
Yeah.
Have him smoke a cigar now and again.
Yeah.
Man. So what if... So Take-Two suing him?
Yeah.
For the Duke Nukem...
For forever.
But for the code...
not for the code, just because there's no game to deliver or something like that.
Okay.
And then
They want the code so that it doesn't
part of that filing. Yeah, they want the
destroyed.
code to be secured so that it doesn't get destroyed or leak.
Right. So
basically.
they wouldn't get the Duke Nukem IP.
No, they would just be... They would just know that it was kept safe.
I'm surprised. I'm a little surprised that hasn't happened yet.
Yeah.
Like, as fast and furious as those leaks were coming for a while there, it was like every day it was like concept art and then screenshots and then video.
It's like the end of that train is, and here's a playable...
Here's the game.
So
I bet you George Broussard's the only person who has all of the pieces
to make it work
necessary for a version of
got the one
Duke
code
Nukem Forever to
man in a
go.
silo that has to turn his key before the build
Turn
will
your
work.
key, sir.
And the password is Broussard.
That's not a very good password.
Yeah,
password is balls of steel.
And so
Balls of steel.
Also, as part of this release, 3D Realms said that of that $12 million, like all that money went to GT Interactive.
Yeah, they said they got like 2.5 out of it or something.
Or they didn't get any of that.
That's all that they've gotten from Take-Two.
All they've gotten from Take-Two is $2.5 million. They got $400,000 in like money. I think that was actually GT Interactive money.
GT Interactive.
Infogrames. Atari.
Game trailers.
Did Infogrames buy GT?
Infogrames was GT, I think. I think they were GT Interactive all along.
Really?
They just renamed.
No way. I always wondered what happened.
They decided to bring the Infogrames name to the U.S.
Oh, wow.
I believe that's how it went down.
Wow.
Yeah. Isn't that weird?
Shocking revelation that two people care about who are both in this room.
So, yeah, again, like I said the last time we talked about this, the chapter in this story has yet to be written.
Certainly.
Because no one has died yet, or the game hasn't shipped yet.
That we know of.
Yeah.
No bodies have turned up yet.
That's right.
George Broussard
Cliff
was not
Blazinski's
found.
holding a sharpened chair leg, and he's ready to...
That's right. True story.
Just ready to clean up.
George Broussard was never found at the airport with bleached hair and a bag full of money.
Yeah.
With ticket to Costa Rica.
12 monkeys virus. Swine flu was just created as a cover for all this.
Trying to get out of the
Steal the
country with
heat.
this Duke Nukem source code. It'll continue to be great.
Young George Broussard sees aged George Broussard getting gunned down at an airport, setting off this whole turn of events. It was all predestined to happen. I don't know.
And then Duke Nukem disc rolls into his hands, and he doesn't know what to do with it, really. Just, I need to make this someday.
A guy with a ponytail on an airplane. Fade to black.
So
what?
Wait. So I'm still gonna say a month and a half until we see code hit the net. So
we've missed that window now, I think.
Do you think? No,
Yeah.
I'm still saying code is. You think code's out there?
I think it would have been out there by
Nah,
now.
I think it's. I say a month and a half.
I think now that Take-Two has asserted itself in being very protective of that stuff, it's not going to leak.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But now with the layoffs or the official layoffs of everybody that was
The
there,
official layoffs, now all of those people have a lot more to lose if Take-Two hunts them down for leaking the source code.
A month and a half. Anonymous. That stuff goes out.
We'll see.
I would have happened. I tend to agree. I think it would have happened already if it was gonna.
Maybe some older stuff.
No, you're never gonna get to play Duke Nukem Forever. Just deal with it.
I played it already. It's good.
Duke Nukem
It's real.
Forever.
I played it. It's good. It's real.
Excellent.
It's real. These guys have been working.
Thank you, Jace Hall.
Yep. I gotta go do my show.
Moving on, Duke Nukem Forever. The legal battle now
Where
between
are
I guess between Apogee is the company now that the name that everyone's throwing around, not 3D Realms.
Yeah, I guess.
Apogee and Take-Two are going at it, and in a recent comment from Apogee's lawyers, it was revealed that apparently part of the deal that was made, Apogee traded the rights to Take-Two to make their own Duke game called Duke Begins, as part of the funding thing. And apparently in April 2009, Take-Two shut down development on Duke Begins, which Apogee is saying was like basically pressure on... was meant to be, let me see, pressuring Apogee to sell the Duke Nukem franchise rights to Take-Two for less than their true value. Apparently. So yeah, there apparently there were more Duke Nukem games in development. Apparently,
More Duke Nukem games that got canceled.
Yep, more Duke Nukem games that aren't coming out, just not made by 3D Realms this time.
And apparently this was just like a working title,
Apparently?
Yeah.
Well, I figured it never shipped, so...
Aperture Science.
The Duke Begins name, I mean.
Right, no.
How does Duke begin? What's his origin
story? So is this like an early Duke, baby Duke?
Dude, is he born, or do you think that he was made? I think Duke Nukem is made.
Yeah, he's like Serpentor. They had to go get DNA from
Bruce Campbell.
From Iceman.
Basically just Bruce Campbell.
Iceman from Top Gun. And, I don't know, Tom Cruise from Risky
Drago.
Business.
Yeah,
Drago.
Uncle
Bruce
Sam.
Campbell, little Bruce Campbell. Yeah.
John Voight.
John Voight.
For his fire-breathing skills that Duke Nukem always had.
And his love of prostitutes.
Yeah.
That's where that comes from.
Shake it, baby.
It comes from Voight, doesn't it?
That's John Voight. That's John Voight's voice.
That's right. Little known
his
fact.
catchphrase.
John Voight did the voice.
Yeah.
I'd like,
he has two catchphrases. Jesus, Ethan, and Shake it, baby.
I'd like to see Duke Nukem shopping. Like trying to find his outfit. Like I just being like really excited about his red. It's a red shirt.
Yeah,
like his red
this
tank
would look
top.
Great.
It's like
no sleeves.
Yeah. You could redo the mirror effect. Remember, it was like the big deal where it's like, dude, I totally could see myself in that mirror. It's like this red tank top looks great.
Oh yeah, you can totally see my balls of steel.
Chris Thompson, Denmark. If you had the rights and source code for Duke Nukem Forever, would you finish it?
No, it's much better this way. There's nothing that game could ever.
I wouldn't finish it. I would just compile what's there, put it out,
put it out as it is.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to try and like mess with whatever they did. Although from the sound of things, there's a great, like, huge article with about George Broussard and Duke Nukem Forever in the latest Wired.
Ooh,
that's
like an expose.
That's worth looking at because they talk about
what happened,
the timeline, and just them constantly throwing stuff out. And there are people there whose sole game credit is Duke Nukem Forever.
Oh, man, I gotta read that.
Who have a full-on video game career.
Yeah.
But have only this one credit because it took them so long.
And that's not even a credit.
And it never even came out.
So they trying to find another job, having never shipped a game.
Yeah, never shipped, but they worked and
like going and trying to get your next job. I was like, well, I worked on Duke Nukem Forever from 1998 to 2004.
So is that game in our database?
Yeah.
Okay. Even though it was never released?
We've decided to allow canceled games to remain in there.
Okay.
We don't necessarily want people to go add games that were canceled just for the sake of adding them, but as games get canceled, whatever information was relevant at the time, we'll maintain.
I could definitely see a case being made for having it in there. That is a part of history now.
But someday that game will probably leak out.
I still desperately want to play whatever they had there at the end.
It's kind of more interesting as a historical document than as an entertainment product.
I would also love to see, like, if someone has,
some behind the scenes,
revision builds of the Quake 2 version and then the Unreal Engine version.
I think that was even what I was saying at the time, is that they should just compile whatever they have, the last versions of whatever they had before they threw out, and just release it along with a big coffee table book just called like What Not to Do.
The story of Duke Nukem Forever.
From that article in The Wired, it sounds like they would completely toss the game.
Yeah.
Like there are...
Forget all this. We like the part where there's a guy with his hair cut short and glasses, and he's kind of mouthy. Let's start from there and see where it goes. How about pig cops? All right, I like pig cops.
Strippers?
Strippers are good.
Urinals that you can use?
Wait a minute, functional urinals?
Yes.
I have to check with the tech guys, but I like that a lot.
Working mirrors in games.
No.
Let me blow your mind for a second here. You could shoot the balls on the pool table.
What?
Make them go to the pockets.
Like,
what if your ride got shot up?
Which we're being jokey, but these are the things that define Duke Nukem.
Oh, dude, Duke Nukem 3D was mind blowing.
This is why the game never came out, because you can't top that. You can't. How do you one up all of that stuff?
I don't know.
They did, but not have.
This is the only way.
They one upped it by spending. So this was all performance art. Is that your theory? We're going to spend 10 years saying we're developing a game. And we'll actually, we'll hire, artists and programmers, and we'll go through the process, but we'll never actually release the game.
What game has gotten more press year after year than Duke Nukem Forever? One game for 10 years.
There's no game that's been around that long.
Counter-Strike.
Yes,
but not for PC.
Oh, okay.
No, it's a Remedy game, so
right.
10 years from now you'll play that game.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Hopefully
Duke Nukem was supposed to come out.
Yeah, the Take-Two thing. Duke Nukem's release day was April Fool's of this year.
We missed it.
Yeah.
That's it.
No.
That's just sad.
It's not funny at all.
Just didn't happen.
Yeah.
I just missed that. I want to believe in that game.
There's no game to believe in.
I want to believe that it's going to rise from the ashes. George Broussard right now is sitting in his basement.
People have believed in more ridiculous things. I'll say that.
That's
like
true.
The moon landing.
Exactly.
It's crazy.
And that Diet Dr. Pepper tastes better than regular Dr. Pepper.
And
no one believes that. Will come on.
That's what that
Don't be ridiculous. You will not speak a foul word about Crystal Pepsi in my presence.
I'm sorry.
What do you think of Gearbox handling Duke Nukem?
That doesn't interest me at all.
No?
I think Gearbox has made some great stuff, and I think that they should go on making great stuff of their own rather than being saddled with someone else's old shit at this point.
But what if they pull it off?
Then everyone will always wonder, like, how much of this was 3D Realms, how much of this was Gearbox. If they pull it off, it's never going to be their glory.
Well, somebody's going to have to do it if it's going to come out. Like
why does it have to come out?
Exactly.
Jeff has been of the position for a long time that Duke Nukem Forever.
Oh no, I'm just saying if it comes out, it will have somebody else's stamp on it by the time it hits retail.
Let's just stop. Just why?
I'm with Jeff.
You guys don't want to know?
No,
not anymore.
You don't. Oh man.
Yeah. For a while, for a good long time, I did, and then I didn't, and then I did again, and then I really didn't, and then I kind of did.
So you don't have like a dream.
And then I got my driver's license.
So you don't have like a developer that you would like to see trying this out?
3D Realms.
No, a developer that exists.
Oh, right.
Not a fantasy developer.
What would be the point? I mean,
get Devolver Digital to do it. First, what is Mike Wilson doing? That's the man that
he's building yurts in the desert somewhere. He's being crazy. He's making movies in Austin.
The thing we wanted to know was what were they up to, right?
Yeah.
Now that we know basically nothing.
I think they should just release take what they have, patch it up to the point where it doesn't crash so much, and just put that out as like a curiosity. Like here's this unfinished
so we can
thing.
Watch the train wreck.
Yeah.
But if it's far enough along that it's even playable in that state,
like how much further of a push would it take to then make that a game that would be sellable?
The other thing I was kind of thinking is like, who cares about Duke Nukem in this day and age? Like that's just so not.
I mean, like 3 years after Duke Nukem 3D came out, who fucking cares?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, like, playing that Xbox Live Arcade release that came out recently, it was like, oh man, Duke Nukem's like incredibly hokey and kind of not funny.
People definitely cared about Duke at that point.
Like 3 years after it came out?
Yeah, 99.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe then, now.
Yeah. Now.
But I'm saying that playing that XBLA game that came out recently kind of made me realize, like, dude, that's...
I'm just saying that
Duke Nukem is...
When we entered the new century, the time for Duke, I believe, had passed.
Well, I'm saying...
As had the time for Clax.
Yeah.
It was no longer the 90s.
It was no longer the 90s.
The shooter landscape at that point in time was still pretty primitive.
Yeah.
We're still talking Quake 3, Unreal Tournament 1.
But they were polygonal.
Well, so was this.
So
was this.
Sure.
I guess, Gearbox is capable of so much.
See, I think what I'm sensing here is that you don't want to sacrifice Gearbox's valuable time to this project.
Yeah, that's definitely, yes.
I think that if anyone is going to finish Duke Nukem Forever, I think that Gearbox is a good fit as far as aesthetic and tone and the style of games that they can make. I think that this would work. I think there's a lot of developers that wouldn't be that. Yeah. I think we were talking about like you wanted to see Irrational's Duke Nukem Forever.
Yes,
that would be a much different, fucking bizarre game.
Someone took that
or American McGee's.
Yes, American McGee's. You could do. There's that. Yes, excellent. Will Wright's Duke Nukem Forever. It's actually just a TV show about a robot now that's learning to love, named Duke.
Yes, and when you push the button on the robot, it says "Shake it, baby."
Somebody asked John Carmack at QuakeCon what he thought about id picking that game up, finishing it.
Oh God!
And he was like, "Well, we did hire most of 3D Realm's best talent, so
so we can have them not work on that here now." So what didn't we talk about? Let's talk about what we played at PAX. Vinny, actually, let's all talk about Brad and Jeff. You guys again talked about this a little bit on the panel. Duke Nukem Forever. This was maybe the biggest, craziest thing at the show.
Wait, what?
Duke Nukem Forever.
That was there?
Yeah. We played it.
What are you talking about?
We're talking about it. We played that.
I miss everything.
What PAX were you at, man? I don't know.
Was that PAX Midwest?
Yeah.
Was it PAX Middle...
PAX Texas.
PAX Middle East.
Yeah. We all got hands on that at some point.
Yeah. Saturday or Sunday, like kind of as we were leaving the show, we managed to sneak in and see... First off, that kick-ass trailer that they're showing, or they were showing behind closed doors at PAX, which was chilling. I got chills watching that. I'm not sure exactly why, but there's something about it like, oh, this is a thing, and here's all this stuff of this thing. It's just, I think, a well-produced trailer, and also having Steve Gibson give a little talk before that and kind of just laying out the history, which I thought was also very interesting because I personally did not realize how involved some of the Gearbox guys were in the development of Duke 3D originally.
I mean, Randy Pitchford worked on that game.
Dude, I didn't know he made the first 2 levels of that game.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Like the best 2 levels.
Yeah, like the stripper area and the adult bookstore and all that stuff. Yeah.
Arguably, like at least some of the most iconic.
Definitely,
parts
it was
of
your
that
first
game.
experience with that game, and you were like, "Oh God."
That's what I think of when I think of Duke. So it's sort of
I think about playing Duke match on that first level.
Yeah,
and it was for me, like that information was important because it made this not just some dudes are finishing this.
Yeah.
It's like people with a connection
also
to the franchise.
Figuring out what Triptych Games was.
Yes.
That it was actually just some of the 3D Realms guys that refused to stop working on the game.
Yeah. Was it 3 guys? Is that the whole Triptych thing?
More than that.
Yeah, it ended up being like 9 or 10, I think.
So they're still involved, and now officially involved. They're not just like finishing up a game on their own. They don't own any rights to or anything weird.
But did they just become Gearbox employees, or are they still?
No, they're
a
separate.
Still an entity.
That's
there's a little logo at the bottom of the.
Yeah, that company now has a website. It didn't until Sunday or something. It finally went up. It was like trying to search for information about what that was, and it wasn't until we went back and heard Steve's presentation that he mentioned who those guys were. I was like, okay, this makes a lot more sense.
The thing I got from that trailer was I don't think this is the Duke Nukem that I remember playing. This is more the version. It seems like the persona of Duke after that whole like Ventrilo thing. Like this is like balls of steel. Like that is the Duke that I feel like they have gone after, or that they're portraying here. Because I don't remember him being so damn
crass,
gnarly, crass. Sure,
it's what you, totally.
And I feel
it's not what Duke Nukem 3D was. It's what you imagine it to be,
right? So like
with this much detachment from it, you imagine Duke Nukem just to be this dirtbag. I don't know.
It's the legend of Duke.
How to even put it. Yeah,
it's what Duke would have to do in 2010 to have the same impact that Duke 3D had when it came.
Yeah,
out.
it's the game's selling point. Like that is the top bullet point back of box feature, like crass as hell.
Right.
Because otherwise it's just a shooter.
It's just a dude saying balls of steel to people like that.
Which we were not shooting when it happened, but after we interviewed Randy Pitchford at PAX, he did mention, you were talking about, man, we got to find the guy with the oldest pre-order and do something like treat him real well, or just like have John St. John call him up and just say balls of steel.
So that's what I got at. Was like, oh yeah, okay,
yeah. So it's like the guys in charge of this game, know of the Ventrilo harassment videos and like are thinking about it. So that to me says that's the Duke Nukem I want. I guess
sure,
not just the here are some Bruce Campbell quotes.
There were things he was saying, maybe it was in the trailer, maybe it was in the demo because a lot of it crossed over, like lines that I wasn't even putting together, like my balls, your back, or something like that, or just like stuff that like one-liners. I was like, what are you even talking
about?
What is
coming out? What are you saying?
Yeah, like
the thing for me was kind of realizing that like to make Duke work, you have to be pretty thoughtful about how stupid it is. Like it has to be stupid.
Yeah.
But there you have to figure out like kind of clever ways to make it stupid. And I mean kind of clever ways. Like the thing that jumped out at me probably the most from the demo, from playing it, other than kind of the oddly aged feel of some of the stuff, was that you get this rocket launcher, and when you pick up ammo for it, you can only hold 69 rockets on it.
Yep.
69. That's the joke.
These are the jokes.
But someone had to think of that. Someone had to think that
Gearbox is going heavy with the 69 jokes too. I mean, that's going to be the new level cap for Borderlands. So
true.
So will the final boss in the new DLC be Duke? Is that going to be the twist?
What
crossover?
No,
because they own Duke.
Yeah,
that was the other thing that came out from all this, is that Gearbox just bought Duke Nukem from 3D Realms, and I guess squashed whatever beef with 2K. I wonder like what the state of all that the lawsuit stuff that was flying back and forth between 3D Realms and 2K.
Well, I think now that the game's going to get finished, I think everything will probably be fine.
Yeah.
Like because Gearbox was in a unique position that they were cool with the 3D Realms guys.
That was cool hearing
cool with 2K.
It was cool hearing Steve Gibson talk about that. Like these guys are fighting, but like we're cool with you and we're cool with you. So let's see if we can work something out.
Sit down and talk this out.
Yeah, they're in a unique position or they were in a unique position to do all that, and it's weird. But
it blows my mind that Broussard sold. Like he always seems so fiercely independent, It was like my way or the highway. Like we are finishing this game on our terms. Like you will pry Duke from my cold dead hand.
Yeah, but
and then he sold the property.
That's the sort of thing that I could very much see a guy like him saying to 2K, who was in the process of not giving enough money to finish the game and suing him and all. It's like all that other stuff. But if the right people came along,
if his old homie Randy Pitchford came over,
if he could feel good about passing that torch off to someone who genuinely cared about it and putting them in control of it, which now Gearbox totally is.
Right.
Maybe that to me is probably, I'm guessing, but that's probably what the difference is.
And in the process, equipping himself to play poker full time.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think it's also a really good thing for the game, because it gives them agency and kind of ownership of like, let's make this game really good because we now own this IP.
Right, they're invested in it in a significant way.
So like
they're not just hired guns by 2K. It's like, well, let's bring in Gearbox and make them finish it, and that'll be that.
It's their thing.
Randy did say that Broussard and Scott Miller can be as involved as they want to be.
Yeah,
in the process. Like just because they sold the rights off doesn't mean they can't come and speak their mind about how it's going.
I'll tell you what I was bummed about with the demo. So you start the demo off urinating, right?
Yeah.
But you can't turn and urinate to like just pee all over the floor.
Yeah. Yes, that is exactly what I tried to do as well.
It's not fully interactive.
Yeah.
I'm stuck peeing in this urinal as opposed to just all over the damn floor.
So you guys think that was just the start of the demo, or is that actually how the game opens?
I don't think you can take anything away from that demo as far as like timeline goes.
I bet that game opens with that level.
I mean, it kind of has to, because that's just like the end of Duke 3D.
Well, if they're that close to finishing it, maybe if it's not just something they'll change up, because that was a pretty good tutorial too, right? For all the controls. But yeah, can't piss on the floor.
You mean the left trigger to aim, right trigger to shoot,
sprint?
Did you get that stuff down by the end of that?
I'm still working on it. The beer button never worked for me.
Yeah, that was a shame.
Yeah,
I almost wonder if that was just a joke they put on that card and doesn't even actually exist.
You have to pick up the beer first.
Yeah, I think you just have to find it.
True.
Or I was hoping he would just bust a hole through the urinal when he was peeing. Just shoot a goddamn hole right through it.
Suggesting that Duke's stream is so powerful that it just...
That's kind of what they make him out to be.
Go right through porcelain.
Just push the right trigger and it just cracks the urinal right in half.
These are all great pieces of feedback for Gearbox.
And, they can incorporate that into Duke Nukem Forever, too.
So that's
Duke 5.
So that's the crazy thing. My understanding is that they can, if they want to crank out more Duke games after this, they are free and clear to do so.
Yeah. I mean, they own the property.
So what if they put out Duke Nukem Forever and then like have a follow up like 18 months later?
I don't even
like how fucking out of control. It's like it took us 13 years for the first one and this lengthy, and then we just knocked out the other one
on a whole new engine, just a whole new.
Yeah.
So there was another project back in June that was mentioned in the lawsuit stuff that Gearbox was working on, something called Duke Begins, and so I just kind of figured that this was, like in context now that was just some smokescreen cover up for Duke Nukem Forever or something.
Yeah.
But
it turns out that is not the case.
That sounds like that's not the case. Like there's an article that Chris Morris did for Gamasutra and a couple other stuff where those guys are being a little cagey about what Duke Begins is. So like, is there another game? Are they simultaneously working on 2 Duke Nukems?
I would I would really be interested in the origins of Duke, like just some dude who turns into this crazy.
Well, if you go play Duke Nukem and Duke Nukem 2, like they're not crazy like Duke 3D is.
No, but he's already an action dude, right?
Yeah.
I want to see some dude just kind of like come into it
before he became the Duke.
Yeah, just some dude.
What if they just
Nukem?
What if they just went and remade Duke and Duke 2 as first person shooters and had him kind of coming into it over the course of that?
That'd be cool.
Let's see Duke and other, because we've got what, side scrollers, third person,
you know
first
what?
person.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves. I'm still not convinced that
Duke
this Duke Forever game's going to come out. So before we start talking about Duke Nukem billiards and Duke Kart.
We played it. Like that's more than I thought would ever possibly happen.
A lot of people played it a lot of times over the years.
No one that I ever knew. I never met anyone personally that had played Duke Nukem Forever. So
I talked to someone once who had
yeah,
played
you
it.
have. Yeah.
Okay.
I can think.
Who's that dude who went down there and filmed it or whatever and went down there and
Jace Hall.
Okay, Jace
Hall.
Hall. He played it.
He did. Yeah. True.
Weird, right?
Dude, I don't even know.
I think they'll make it. I think it'll come out.
They're going for early 2011? That's what they're saying right now, it sounds
They're
like?
saying 2011.
Okay.
I totally think it'll come out, and then I think they'll make at least one other game after it. And I think you're right. I think the turnaround will be like a year and a half.
It was one of those things that I loved that from our panel, from the micro panel, our recursive panel inside our panel with Gary Whitta, Michael Pachter, and Jeff Green. Was Gary Whitta talking about the development of Duke Nukem Forever, comparing it to opening a jar of pickles. Like you're just trying forever, you can't quite get it, and you hand it to someone else, and then you just twist it right away. Here you go.
I guess I loosened it. Yeah, that was good.
I did all the starting work.
Yeah. And while I was out, they announced the date for Duke Nukem Forever, which I believe they should push back one day.
Yeah, just delay it.
Just
one last time.
Just one more. Just like, oh wait, hold on.
Just kidding.
But it's a day.
Yeah. Stockholders don't like it when you lie about your release date.
What was the release date?
As it turns out, May 3rd.
May 3rd.
May 3rd.
Oh yeah,
cool.
That's a good solid 6 weeks before E3. We will go to E3 with Duke Nukem Forever behind us.
That's right. It'll be like the first E3,
so they can announce Duke 5.
Yeah, I guess they'll know if sales were good enough by that point.
It's not enough for them to know if sales were good enough. They need to spend some time figuring out why sales were good. Because if it's all train wreck, I want to see this, then no one buys Duke 5. If people are buying it and word of mouth is good, then yeah.
Yeah, tough.
Whatever. The character's strong enough that they could put out the Duke Nukem after Duke Nukem Forever and
start all over again. Just work their way back up. I just don't
start all over again with a 2D game.
I don't know what the expectations are for that game in the general audience. Are there any? Is it just are people just expecting this to be 10 years of development and is it gonna be one of those things this is what we waited for?
Yeah, I think that's absolutely. There are going to be some people that have that that feeling about the game, and I think there's no way if you go in there with high hopes, there's no way they could satisfy all those at this point, right? It's
no game can be that good.
Yeah, no game can be as good as the game in your mind that they spent all this time working on.
No offense to Gearbox, I think they make great games, but I'm expecting that they had to come in and it was a mess. I'm just surprised that thing is a cohesive piece of code from start to end. So if I can hit the credits, I'll be happy.
If it only locks up on me, I'll let it crash once or twice and still go
dude,
a success.
Bravo that you guys put a opening scene, a credit, and something in the middle, and you made it all work. You got it out the door, done.
There's some pig cops. Stepped on a guy.
It doesn't change from a
lot of misogyny,
720 to 480 resolution just in the middle somewhere, and Duke's
this cutscene's not finished. It's just there's no audio.
Straight up scene missing.
It's
stuff
just an orange block.
Half the characters are sprites or something.
Yeah.
That would be pretty.
That
awesome.
would be way cooler. I would probably be way more interested in that.
The model of the gun changes when a level loads. Forgot about that one.
Yeah.
All right.
I think those are the right expectations to come into Duke with. Is if you guys could actually
sew this together,
make a game.
Yeah, exactly. Shipping the game is a victory in that case. It's
wait a minute. What if the game is amazing?
If it's amazing,
what if?
That'd be spectacular.
No, never mind. I'm going to back away from that thought.
No, it's too crazy to commit to that right now. And that's you have the managed expectations, and if it's amazing, then doubly so.
Well, now I'm sitting here. They've said that it's not going to be the 6-hour campaign. It's going to kind of be classic shooter campaign length. Okay,
so pretty long then.
Yeah, imagine a 15 to 20 hour game. Yeah. Theoretically, we don't know how it's going to actually turn out, but that's the theory. Now, take what we played at PAX.
Mm-hmm.
It had that vehicle sequence, and it had some parts where you shot guys.
Right?
Does that seem like if you stretched it out to 15 to 20 hours and threw in a couple of other kind of breaks in the action, weird variety? It's I don't know. Here's a turret sequence. There's a spot in space. Typical
weird one-off
ways
things.
to one-off ways to kind of change it up. Is that game amazing?
I don't know.
We'll see.
Could be.
Depends on if it's consistently funny and
But if it's 12 hours of holding down a position, then no.
It seems like it's got to be set pieces. It seems like it's got to be a lot of just you are in a million different crazy places.
I don't know. When they started making that game, there was no such thing as a set piece, so I'm not sure.
Whatever. The first, Duke 3D, the boss fights, those are massive.
Yeah, but that was just a giant sprite.
If it's that long, maybe they'll do things that really drastically change the game. Maybe Duke loses his arms.
See, I'm sitting here thinking
machine gun arms.
What if there's some bizarre meta level where you end up playing one of the previous builds of the game or something insane like that? But I doubt that.
Who knows?
That's the game I would like for them to make. Just crazy Amp 3 levels of weird self-awareness.
Well, because you get that scene at the end of that trailer where he is playing his own game.
Right.
And talking shit about how long it took for them to make it and stuff.
Right. That's in the demo that we played. And I have to imagine that'll be the demo they put out.
Right.
There's room. I don't know.
Oh, I guess that
Let's
demo.
see. We'll find out May 3rd.
Demo will be out soon, I guess.
It has to be.
Yeah.
It has to be.
This is just delay the demo.
All right, guys. Let's move on.
Okay.
Chris from Tampa, Florida says, "Hello, gents. I was thinking about the long history of Duke Nukem Forever and the many people who have worked on the game in its past. My question to you guys is, how long do you think the credits for Duke will last? Will it be the longest credit sequence in history, or will Gearbox decide to only put people who recently worked on the game in the credits?" So they actually have a site up. I don't know if you saw this. Gearbox put up a website saying, "Hey, were you affiliated with the development of Duke Nukem Forever and like to be credited in the game?"
God, I was hoping that's what you were going to say. That's amazing.
So maybe
that's pretty cool.
To the site.
Like they've just like lost the master list at some point.
Yeah,
like,
it's like, fill out this form and we'll look into it.
Like George Broussard's basement flooded one time and
right,
they lost all the records.
So we've got nothing. And it's like, obvious entries for people to actually work on games. And it's like, if you're like press who has a significant tie to the history of the development of this game, you may qualify. Let us know. Or
like if you argue with George Broussard on Usenet once, by all means.
Let's get in the credits. Let's get in the credits for that game. Then we can put it on our pages.
Oh, God, no.
Is that? But still, even with all those people, would those credits be any longer than something like Rock Band, Beatles? Like that? That was by far the longest credit sequence I've ever sat through.
That is
like half an hour of credits.
Are you counting all the photo portion as part of the overall credit time, or just the roll?
The whole roll, the whole thing, like that from the moment the credits start.
Yeah.
It's not how long your credits are, though. It's how fast you scroll it.
Yeah, that's true.
As
got to be able to pause it. In Bulletstorm, you can totally pause the credits.
As we saw in Modern Warfare, was it 2? You can have a really long credit list that goes by real fast.
Yeah. It's like, here's the Activision dudes. Peace.
Duke Nukem Forever.
Yes.
Guys, they've delayed Duke Nukem Forever.
That's cool. Know, but it's
I've waited this long.
Now,
one more time.
Now 2K is going to put it out.
No, they've delayed it again.
Yeah, but now they got it. Now Randy Pitcher is going to put it out.
Right. Yeah. Well, he's still going to put it out. It's still Gearbox, but it's after the Gearbox reveal. It's not coming out in May anymore. It's going to come out in June.
It's the plan all along, right?
So okay. Let's kick it around the table. What do you think? You think this is?
I saw that commercial they put out. I thought well done. That little teaser thing.
Yeah, where it's Randy Pitchford saying like, "We're so excited! We're final days here of Duke Nukem." He's got the big Duke Nukem Forever standee behind him, and dude just walks up and slaps another date over the date that they had on it.
Yeah, we're fucking kidding me.
Yeah, and then he swears up a storm and kind of runs off screen.
Shaky camera.
Yeah, they sell it. They sell it in a way that makes me think that no, this was not a planned thing, and our talks with the 2K guys made it sound like.
Yeah, when they first made the announcement, we were kind of joking, like you should have like announced it and then a day later delayed it.
Yeah,
and the response was like, "It turns out shareholders really don't like it when you lie about release dates, so no." But not that we didn't think about it. So I have to imagine this is totally real. The thing that gets me is like, what does a 1 month delay do for that game?
Is it a
at this
window
point?
thing? I have no idea.
Like if it's, I mean, you're in the same quarter, so it doesn't touch anything like that. If there's a game-killing bug that they've found, if there's I don't know.
Maybe they didn't pass cert.
The trash cans didn't look good enough. Maybe got kicked back from console.
These vehicles are too boxy.
Maybe they got to take out the,
I will say
the women slapping or whatever it was.
I mean, tell me what you guys think. Like every single time that I have seen that game, they have been really eager for feedback.
Sure.
Like more so than even other games under like the 2K umbrella.
Like less confident and less sure how this is going to play.
I think if they feel that they can do something to if they could take some of that feedback and tweak it ever so slightly, I think they absolutely will. I think they're very, very open to that idea.
Also, I feel like delaying games is more the norm than the exception at this point. So, yeah.
Especially that game. So that game, no game has been delayed more.
Right.
So what's a month?
If it gets delayed again, then it's funny. And then if
there's a second delay,
then it's funny.
If there's this weird fucking Duke Nukem Forever curse that just you can't, you literally can't ship this game.
You would not believe what the pressing plant melted down and a fire happened.
We got the discs printed, and then
I don't think it could be related to any other 2K releases because Darkness 2 is not due out for a while.
Oh, you mean as far as like release window stuff?
Yeah. So I don't think it would be competing with their own stuff.
Spec Ops is coming out in May.
Is that still a game?
It gets out of the way of LA Noire. Not that those are direct
Yeah, those are pretty
competitors.
Those are pretty off.
But it is still the same company releasing games.
I think the Housers would fucking pull that card.
I don't even know. I'm not even going to speculate.
Just fucking delay Duke Nukem.
And Brad Shoemaker, I know you had some exciting interviews. You want to talk about some of those?
I stuck my dick in an alien's asshole.
Thanks, Duke.
Yeah, thanks.
I took a crap and went to the hardware store. I'm going to rip off your head and order a pizza.
What? So how is that game?
It's fucking boring.
That ruined my day.
It's boring.
Recording that, just not even sitting in on that quick look, like recording it, kind of ruined my day. I still play it, but man, I don't.
It's that game is really boring. That's probably the biggest problem I have with it.
And that's like the most damning thing you could say about that. Like I would at least hope, even if
it
it's
is
not
variety
good,
filled, but no aspect of it, and anything that you see once and you go like, oh, okay, they make sure to like throw in 2 or 3 more times, so by the end of the game you're like, man, fuck this part.
I just have never seen a game, and even from I knew this could happen, a possibility this could happen leading up to it, but watching some of that stuff, a character, like a protagonist that I just couldn't relate to more, just despised.
You couldn't relate to him any more than you already do?
Like I just hate him.
Because it's 100%.
Yeah.
You're like, that's me, baby.
I think he's at his max at 0.
Yeah, like I can't relate to him at all. Like I just, that whole persona.
It just that persona just doesn't exist anymore.
There's
and
nothing, only in parody, only in like
right. And this isn't. They don't play this up necessarily for parody. It's not like, hey, isn't it funny that Duke is this weird kind of sad misogynist that like is kind of creepy and touchy and gross. Like there's nothing.
Right.
There's nothing postmodern about anything.
It kind of tries to celebrate it in a weird way, but they don't go far enough. And there are moments that I see I'll say brilliance in a kind of, for lack, there are other words. You know what? I'll just say brilliance, where it's just like, there's like dudes that go over the top as well. Like there's that one guy you met when you were walking out, and it's like, fucking Duke Nukem, man, let's go fucking shit up, and I'm gonna go tie my shoelaces on an alien's neck. Yeah, fucking, we're pussies out there. And you're just kind of like, all right, that's kind of funny. This is a weird world, and like this guy has gone too far, and it's funny to see it reflected back at you. Be like, oh man, okay,
like, what's up with this guy?
Yeah, that's the peer group that Duke Nukem has fostered for himself.
Right, and that's kind of funny when you see that, but I don't think that plays. I don't think they keep that up the entire time.
They do not.
So it's like once that comes back down, you're like, oh man, yeah, this is kind of a sad man. Duke Nukem should have stayed behind.
Yeah, like I would have loved to have seen like an intense character study where at the end of the game Duke Nukem just hangs himself, like realizing like there's nowhere left for me to go but down, baby.
Yeah,
kick out the chair.
Or just like everybody deadpanning Duke. Just
or people just like okay, whatever you say, man. What the fuck is with this guy?
What's up with that Duke?
Like just like if every supporting character that you met was just super patronizing to Duke, like, okay, Duke, yeah, that sounds, blow it out your ass.
I mean, he fights these aliens really well, you guys. We have to put up with his fucking dumb
shit. Do I have to go with Duke Nukem?
So.
This guy, he's just such a jerk. He's an asshole. Hey, Duke.
I've got balls of balls.
No, he's our greatest hero. It's Duke Nukem. He's come to
let's just get this over with.
It's this sub-Family Guy level of referential humor that just like they're not even trying to make their own jokes out of anything. It is literally just like Duke Nukem's going to say some stuff from something else,
which
is what Duke 3D was, but it happened before
the internet.
Before the internet had accelerated all of this shit to total absurdity.
I mean, when that game came out, Army of Darkness was like of the day. Like that was topical. I
hadn't seen Army of Darkness when that game came out, so it was just like whatever.
At this point, everything has been referenced. And
I mean, that game, fucking when you kill the pig cop, sometimes it says pork chop sandwiches.
Yeah,
well, come on, like how old is that?
Like what was the worst non sequitur?
It says America.
Anachronism?
He says America. Fuck yeah! Like how old is that? Like that's like the payoff that goes into another interminable load screen. You're like, what? How?
It's like listen to Duke Nukem read off your WAV file folder.
Yeah.
But from 2002.
Right, well, from when you had a WAV file folder,
man.
Right, I'm going to use these in Worms.
I'm not going to fall for no banana and no tailpipe.
I guess it just begs the question of how much do we have to pay John St. John to just recite our favorite movie quotes?
I mean, he's doing lines for trailers and indie games and stuff like that. Like,
Sure.
we could probably swing that.
I think we could afford him because.
The game is really depressing. I don't know, but at the same time, I'm really glad that I played it. I'm happy that I was able to see this whole fucking saga through.
Yeah,
you know,
you're getting ready to close the book on it and put it in your drawer and say Duke Nukem Forever's done. That's it.
Let's
seal it up.
Part of my life that is gone forever.
But maybe not, based on the way that game ends.
Whatever. Like if that game ends poorly. And it certainly sets up more Duke Nukem, and Gearbox wouldn't have bought the IP if they weren't planning on. I'm not
even talking about new games.
You think it sets up DLC?
There are indications that there's stuff out there
that
I don't know. It's all it's all conjecture.
More power to them, but I'm not buying any of that shit.
So what happens now? I guess we're just talking about Duke, but what happens? This one, let's just say this one sells pretty well just because it's Duke Nukem, right? And everybody has curiosity. Do you think the market?
Yes.
I mean, I have to assume, right? Like that's the gamble they're taking is like put it out there, it'll sell okay.
Everybody has to play this. Even if they don't want to play it, they are going to play it.
So does the market bear with these guys for the next Duke Nukem release and say, hey, all right, we're putting out a real one now?
I mean, that's the question. Like,
check it out.
Like if everybody goes out and buys this game, which they probably will, and they all hate it, is Joe Walmart shopper going to give the next Duke Nukem game the benefit of the doubt? Like, they don't know anything about 3D Realms.
Who's making it?
They don't know anything about 3D Realms or Gearbox or who made it.
I don't know that guy knows about Duke Nukem at this point at all.
They've been advertising on TV a little bit. There's bus ads. Like there's a surprising amount of television.
Also, there's probably,
but I mean, I guess like beyond like current marketing, I have to wonder, how many people in the much larger audience that we are dealing with today for video games was playing 14 years ago and knows Duke Nukem 3D.
I mean, regardless of nostalgia, there's probably a big segment of the audience for whom this style of humor is still applicable.
Yeah, sure.
What do you say?
I bet there are a lot of people out there.
I suspect that even for that crowd, like this just doesn't do it well
really?
enough. Like it's really ham-fisted delivery. Like it's done poorly.
When you were saying sub Matt Hazard, I think that
like Matt Hazard's whole thing was that it was trying to be a Duke Nukem knockoff, and it is in some ways more successful than this game is.
Yeah. Seems telling.
In story. I mean, what the gameplay, Matt Hazard is a burning pile of trash.
Right. But as far as just like the idea of the parody, the idea of trying to do this mock video game hero.
Yeah. And there are even a couple of spots in the game where Duke kind of acknowledges that it's a game that there's a little bit of fourth wall breaking here and there that seems super out of place because they don't really devote themselves to it. It's like they just what can we have him say here? Guess he won't be in the sequel. Like, all right, good, fine, move on. Great.
I mean, that game was in development for so long. I can't imagine a reality in which that final product didn't feel like it was coming from 18 different directions.
And it really does. You can. I wonder if you didn't know that going in, if you would see it, but it definitely feels like a game that was developed a long time ago, and then someone came in at the last minute and said, like, well, what can we do fast? Like, more shaders. All right, great. Let's just do that then.
Can we get the frame rate up?
No.
Oh, well, all right, moving on.
How about the load times?
No.
Well, all right.
How about a couple of more, like, cool John St. John quotes? Can we get those in there?
No.
Oh.
Get the ones that are already in there. We've already blown our John St. John budgets.
He's tired. He's not even returning our calls. He doesn't even want the money anymore.
Other people are giving him work now, so...
He says, call me when you have a new game.
Can you take my name off the project?
Voiced by Alan Smithy.
I'm Alan Smithy, and I'm here to kick your ass and chew on bubble gum. And I'm all out of bubble gum.
I love that line. That's like my favorite line.
That's like directly from the... I lied when I said I was going to kill you dead last. That's not exactly... That's not even how it is in the game, but...
Close enough.
Like, there are a lot of movie reference lines in the game, as you would expect, but they're not right. He doesn't say, I'd buy that for $1. He says, I'd buy this for $1. Like,
do you think there's any way they're copyrighted? Or
no, I think it's just that, like, if in the context of one man saying this to no one, they made the appropriate adjustments to the lines. But then at that point, like, it just sounds like that... I've said it before. Like the Duke is your crazy uncle. But now you're old enough to realize, like, oh, this guy's out of his fucking mind.
Right.
Like he's just like misquoting movies all the time.
Now you know why
all
the other adults in the family always tried to stay away from
he loved
Duke.
cigars and monster trucks. But no, it's because he's fucking crazy.
And he's the guy
he'd sneaky a beer every once in a while.
Sneaky a beer. And he shows up to every family gathering with a different way too young for his age woman who's really enamored by his Humvee.
It gets really uncomfortable when it's time to leave because can't really drive because he's had too much to drink. But then kind of the guy that, I'm fine.
Yeah.
All right, his arm around his shoulder. All right, Uncle Ben, you want me to give you a ride? I'm fine. Linda, get in the car. I'm fine. I'll be right back. That's a quote.
Yeah, it's the game is pretty depressing in spots.
I'm still excited to play it. I don't know why.
Yeah, like I said, I'm glad I played through it. I think that if for some people that have been following the development of this game for this long, they kind of owe it to themselves to play it. But that is literally the only person I would recommend this game to. If you were looking for a funny shooter, if you're looking for a good shooter, if you're looking for a shooter, do not get this game.
What if I'm looking for some platforming and first-person platforming?
If you want bad first-person platforming,
right.
This game has... It's like things that just don't exist in modern shooters for a reason. Things where they realize, like, oh, man, just like this perspective is just not good at doing this stuff. And they're like, fuck it, man, let's shrink him down and have him jump around on this sink. Awesome.
We did that in the last game.
Great.
And literally no other games have existed since that last game.
Yeah, it's like everyone working on the game has not played a game since Duke 3D.
Hey man, Level Lord needs to make maps that are way oversized for your character.
And this has that. This has a multiplayer map that is that, and and there are like 3 separate sections in the game where you get shrunk. One of which you drive an RC car while shrunk.
Also, I saw Jeff played a little multiplayer for the quick look, and they've straight up remade the Hollywood level. In that game for the multiplayer, it looks terrible.
That's a shame.
And like the scale on that whole level feels super crazy. Like
looks weird.
It looks extremely small. Like the there's that kind of that main street path in front of where the movie marquee is and everything. It's supposed to be like a full size street, and in this map, in this incarnation of it, it looks crazy narrow. I don't know what it is.
I mean, when Duke Nukem 3D came out, it was it was evolutionary.
It was a better Doom.
It was a better Doom.
It was Doom with way more clever weapons, and you could look up and down.
Yeah, exactly. Like there was design stuff in that game that was pretty incredible. Yeah. And for the time, like the interaction with the environment, it's like flushing toilets and hitting buttons and stuff like that. It's like kind of goofy, but like games just didn't do that then. Yeah. And now, it's just this also ran messed up, kind of just crappy thing that doesn't push anything forward.
Duke stayed the same. We've all changed, man.
Kind of, yeah.
He's still in high school, and we're looking back and be like, Duke should kind of graduate and kind of move on.
Duke needs to move out of his mom's basement.
Come on to my place. We'll get my Camaro. Go spin some Brodies.
Duke, I gotta get up early for work.
Come on, bro.
Hey, you guys want to go play some Sega?
No, my wife, we got a thing with her mom.
Let's go out and chase some Snatch.
Nah, I gotta go. Brad's cool though. Brad, you're gonna hang out with Duke and
I was thinking about going to the gym actually.
Okay, the gym is for pussies. Let's bench press in my garage and listen to Bachman Turner Overdrive.
Oh, Duke, you're a crazy, you're a nut job, Duke. I actually really gotta go though. I gotta go.
I've got a spare Big Johnson shirt for you.
It's cool, but Jessie's back. She's probably wondering where I am right now. See you, Duke.
I got a girl that can suck the chrome off a trailer hitch.
Bye, Duke. Say hi, Mom.
I need someone to go to Daytona with me.
Duke, where are your friends at?
I'm legal going out with that, Mom. Don't worry about it.
Duke, you ready to come back and feed Fluff?
I fed it. Oh.
Blow it out your ass. Sorry, Mom.
Balls of sadness.
That game says I've got balls of fail when you lose at the pinball machine.
Next. Yeah. Who else playing games? What else we got going on?
Duke, you're grounded.
Brad, you want to talk about Infamous 2 some?
Yeah. Let's watch this.
watch the Duke stink
greasy taste out.
Are you gonna play? Are you gonna play Duke?
I guess. Yeah.
I
respect your decision to.
I
put your foot down.
I feel like there's like it is important, and it is a game to like that. I feel should be played just to know how this chapter ends. But just everything that I've seen of that game, it's not even like it's not even like it looks like a bad game, but it has some like crazy, ridiculous, over the top shit that I'd be willing to like put up with the bad game part to see. But like even the stuff that should be the payoff just looks kind of grimy and boring. Like it looks boring.
Yeah,
like the visual style is boring. It's just It's an ugly looking game. There's nothing about
it's sad, but at the same time, it's kind of hard to imagine it coming out any other way, considering the road it's taken to store shelves. You know, it's such a crazy thing.
I mean, it's spectacular, and just that it made it to store shelves, that they press discs and are selling this.
Yeah, one extra star for making it to store shelves on that one.
I mean, I don't know that anybody expected it to push any boundaries by the time it came out. Like, arguably, the crime here is selling it for $60 alongside games that deserve that price tag, and launching this massive kind of like pan-media promotional thing. Like, there are commercials, there are bus ads. Like, they're pushing it like they would any game that is made in a modern context,
right?
And actually should be bought at full price.
Yeah, I imagine at some point that just, Take-Two's happy to get any money back on this project at all. Because at some point it looked like they weren't going to get any. But I can't imagine that it's going to be a good return on anyone's investment at this point.
Really looking forward to the NPDs.
Well, it can't possibly make the money spent on it back, right?
Yeah.
like that's just impossible at this point.
Who knows?
I think at this point the hope is that it doesn't totally destroy the name,
right?
So that they can do another Duke game at some point. Which I don't see it, man.
I think
I
have
really
to,
don't.
I think they have to go like postmodern.
Yeah, like
Duke
I think to make that character work in this day and age, like so many things have to change about the world around him.
Yeah,
and I, you can't just have it's tasteless and proud of it. Like, it just doesn't. Like, it doesn't work. It's not funny.
That's the failing, though. Is like the world inside of the Duke game doesn't acknowledge that things have changed. I think if all the same shit happened, but it acknowledged that it was this weird artifact, this relic.
Yeah, you almost need like Demolition Man style. Like, the world has changed, and the only one who could take down these monsters is Duke Nukem, and you kind of have to thaw him out, and he's just like,
but inside
caveman style thing.
Inside the world of Duke Nukem Forever, he's like the king. He's
exactly.
He's like the apex of everything.
That's what weirds me out about this, because they didn't amp that quality up in Duke 3D at all. Like, he spouted some one-liners, he kicked pig cops in the face, and that was it. Like, and he threw money at strippers. This level of like sort of like this.
Now it's like every single person you encounter is like, oh my god, it's Duke Nukem.
The kind of self-centered chauvinism and like the fawning that comes from these fans and stuff is like, that's all new for this game.
Yeah,
and I wonder at what point they thought that was a good idea.
And it's hot off the success of Duke Nukem 3D. I'm sure it made a lot of sense.
That's fair. That game was huge in its day.
But it's just like they clung. They stayed with that mentality even as it became more and more irrelevant.
Right. Guys, guess what floor Duke Nukem's penthouse is on?
I'm gonna guess. Can I guess? You guys, do you have any guess? Can I guess? No.
It's a 4.
I asked if you were going to guess.
5.
That was going to be my...
No, go for it.
I'm going to guess... Just going off the top of my head here.
Just riff.
First number that pops in my head, I'm going to say 69.
Dude, you're right.
Wow.
That's a really good guess.
Is that because you saw the ammo count on that gun?
I'm good at math.
Yeah.
It's
subtract. You did 70 minus 1. Okay.
Yeah, I did 70 minus 1. And there.
I checked to see if there was a 13 on that elevator, and there totally is. I know.
That's it. That whole building's cursed.
I know.
Who lives on the 13th floor?
Yeah.
George Broussard.
Did you guys read the Wired article from 2 or 3 years ago about the development of this game?
I think I did, yeah. But that was a long time ago.
Granted,
not in Duke time.
I can't. You can't verify the veracity of that stuff because it was all kind of secondhand sources and stuff. But they painted this picture of these guys who went and made this like truly, like you said, innovative game, like a game that in its day did stuff that had never been done before.
Yeah,
and it almost sounded like they were so addicted to that feeling that they like. That's why they kept pushing it back. They kept wanting to do that again, but their path to doing that again was doing the exact same thing they did the previous time.
Yeah,
just let's make more stuff interactive. Like that's not doing it.
You can draw on the whiteboards, which people saw in the demo, obviously.
But you can't shoot the whiteboards.
No.
Can you play pool?
You can play pool.
Can you throw feces?
Yep.
Can you shoot mirrors?
Nah, there aren't a lot of mirrors. But I don't know.
Can you throw feces in Infamous 2?
Should we try it again?
Electropheces.
Really?
That sounds really dangerous.
Oh, okay.
Electrified. Sorry, I got AT&T is sending me messages. All right, sorry. You were saying? Try it again.
Dude, let's talk about Infamous 2.
Okay, let's talk about Infamous 2.
Let's talk about Infamous 2. Let's shift the gears away from Duke Nukem.
That game
Goodbye,
is fun.
Duke Nukem.
That game is fun.
So there are things in Duke. Like,
Dude, we're supposed to stop.
What are you doing? There's a Gears puzzle, and at the end of it he says, Duke 1, Gears nothing. And there's another part that was like, I hate Valve puzzles, because there's a puzzle involving valves. Another part where you straight up see Halo armor.
Yeah, like
those power armors for pussies.
I saw that in the preview
you
build.
See, like the Dead Space armor at one point. Another Dead Space Marine.
The Halo mockery, the Halo mockery in particular, really stood out because this game adopts a bunch of Halo style mechanics.
Right,
it's like recharging health and 2 weapons.
Yeah, to call out all these other game developers as if you are still their contemporary, like still in the same ballpark as these.
Right.
Like
no, they're topping.
Oh right, yeah, exactly.
Not same ballpark.
But do you think the bigger insult is that those other companies don't? You're like, what? Who? Or we're not. No, no comment.
Right?
Really,
They still exist?
Yeah.
Really?
That's.
I guess.
Well, is it funny at least?
And that is all I have to say.